Hello one and all, and welcome back to more Let's Play Persona 3 FES. I am the Mix Few Trades. In the last part, we were told that if we wanted to face Nyx, the, I guess, super god of death and awfulness that's going to end the world, we need to reach the top of Tartarus. And in order to do that, I apparently need to face many, many trials. Far more trials than I was actually physically or emotionally prepared for, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. We managed to get through a decent amount of them so far, but we've got to keep going. We've got to get stronger. We've got to get... We gotta get to the top, and then I guess we actually have to wait for the end of January, but, the sooner we get up to the top, the easier it'll be to get there when we actually have to, Something's different about the enemies. Who knows what that could be? Is it about them being stronger? Is it about them being weaker, farther apart, closer together, easier to surprise, harder to surprise? There's a lot of questions. Alright, so right out the gate, we are in fact dealing with something that I am not prepared for. Let's see. I don't actually recall... What persona am I currently using that has this ability? Why did I equip you? I don't remember ever doing that. Oh, wait, yes I do. I did it. I equipped you specifically because you wouldn't be hurt by fire attacks. That makes sense to me. Alright then. Well, that didn't work, but it did do a hell of a lot of damage, so you won't be seeing any complaints. Let's see, though. I sure would prefer to actually, have a weakness all figured out if it's all the same to you. Alright, how about a gun? How do you feel about guns? I feel like that's been happening a lot lately, but alright, sure. Alright, well, can't really do much about that, but I can hit them with giant fireballs again. There's nothing stopping me from doing that, which is pretty great. Alright, so let's go over to Thoth, I guess. Thoth is the man with the master plan, and that master plan generally involves hitting people with electrical bolts from the sky. So, you won't be seeing me not doing that. Oh, really? That's what we're doing right now? Alright, fine. You get flipped on, and you get shot. Boom. Bullet to the... I don't even know what exactly it is to say that you are. You're like some sort of weird metal scale thing. I'm not really sure, if I'm being honest. Alright, well, I know I want that, so give me that. There we go, and I'm already leveled up. Boom! Now I can get Seth. Although, I don't know if I actually need Seth. Because, last I checked, he only has, like, some fire magic, and I've already got some heavy-hitting fire magic attacks, so... I guess it wouldn't really be all that beneficial. But, when I get out of here, and I still, if I still feel like I want to do it anyway, then... Well, you bet your bippy that I most certainly do. Alright, are you tired? Miraculously, no. We shall continue until we either reach the top or get so utterly, exhausted we have no choice. Well, that's cheating. That man disappeared the second he noticed that there was a person attacking him. That's not even remotely fair. At least give me the illusion of a chance.
There are two power... Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
You do that. I will try to find their weaknesses the old-fashioned way. Alright, well, that wasn't the answer. And now this is going to hoit. Never mind, it ain't going to hoit at all.
Seems Hama skills work well on this one.
Well, isn't that incredibly handy-dandy? Except not really. Alright then, hang on. Hang on. We just learned. Let's use our knowledge centers, people. We already know what this thing can and cannot be hit by. Alright, but I can still shoot it with a gun. Oh boy, that's gonna hurt. Well, I was correct on how much that was going to be incredibly painful. Alright then, well, hang on a second. I'm pretty sure I've still got that one persona that's like, yeah. This persona's really good at the whole murdering with light stuff. Alright, let's see here. Hang on a second. Light, instant kill, althos, very high. Got Hama boost, not the boof. Oh, so you're not weak to that, are you? Alright. Do you think that there's any chance whatsoever of it being darkness instead? Because that'd be pretty great. Alright, so the answer was no. Alright then, well, And now I'm left to wonder what exactly the best course of action would be. Probably best to fully heal main character, because if he dies, it's game over. Whereas if Yukari gets knocked over, then we just have to revive her. Although, that being said... Oh, well, that's just ironic is what that is. Whereas, if Yukari gets knocked down, yeah, we just revive her and it'll be fine. Alright then, so it's all about the fire skills, eh? Alright then, just don't mind me. Oh, trust me, I was the first to notice that she was in a dire strait. I do not need a reminder. But as long as she's still able to stand up and fire her bow, then I think it's okay until we're able to get out of this fight. How is that not enough to defeat it? How is that supposed to work in any way whatsoever? Alright, then fine. I see how it's gonna be. And well, just because I can revive her doesn't mean I want to. If this is the way that the game is gonna be played. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Yeah, I noticed a little too late that I remembered that a little too late for it to really amount to anything. Alright then, fantastic. Alright, I'd like everybody to take note of the fact that, considering the amount of time I had been recording up to that point, no more than like 6 minutes, there was nothing on earth stopping me from just starting over entirely and pretending that that entire event never took place in the first place. But I chose to show it to you anyway, because why would I dare pretend that I'm anything better at video games than I actually am? I'm not very good at them. I do my best, and I make my way through, and I ultimately accomplish the goal, and I get to the credits, and I do what I can, and I do my best, but do I do it eloquently? Do I do it with bells on? The answer to all of those questions is a resounding no, and I will never dare try to make anybody think otherwise. I is all that I ever biz, and that is simply all there is to say. Alright, and slowly but surely, we will find their weaknesses over time. Wazang! That didn't work. Alright, well, how do you feel about being shot with a gun? Ah. Why do things have to be weak to freaking light and dark? Do they not understand how infrequent these abilities are? Then they're not very good. It worked that time, but it's failed to work enough times to make me feel like it ain't worth it. I digress. I have managed to actually find staircases remarkably quickly, so we should be able to get to this next trial or so pretty quickly. The enemies are getting stronger, and maybe I can repeat myself 57 times. Somebody get me a thesaurus! Lest I say the exact same words over and over again to say the same thing. Yes, there are indeed a bunch of no-goodnicks over here, but you know what? I think you'll find that it really makes absolutely no difference whatsoever, because I've got the power of wind! And I choose to believe that the Hogans are weak to wind because the wind would knock off his bandana and show his incredibly baldness. I feel like that makes the most amount of sense. It's like the biggest open secret ever. Like, everybody knows it. We've all seen it. And that fake hair is very, very fake. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so I guess I'll go for... I mean, I guess it would make more sense to go for the money specifically, but I'll go with I'm gonna go with the weapon. I'm gonna sell all this stuff to that police officer. He's done a lot for us over the coming months. I feel like it's only good that we provide him with a bunch of other stuff that he can sell to random teenagers, as is the usual. You thought you could dare get away from me? The answer was nee. You guys were weak to physical attacks in the last incarnation, but you're not this time. Unfortunate. Okay, they don't seem to be... Yeah, it's just straight up ice. Alright, then fine. Won't stop me from shooting you with a gun. And then I'll just, I guess, weaken them up a little bit with my flips and my chips and what have ye. Bust out the Titania and give them the old ice freezeums. Take that, weird hourglass things with spiky hula hoops. I've had this discussion in the past, but man, sometimes it really does bear repeating. Being the designer for monsters in a JRPG has got to be an adventure and a half, because you got to come up with like about a bajillion different monsters. And it's true, You can actually just, you know, kind of you can sort of cut corners here and there. I was going to say half-ass, but it's not half-assing. But you can cut corners here and there by, you know, making a bunch of them recolors of ones that you've already gone up against and stuff. But still, barring like that particular instance, generally you're going to be designing a whole lot of monsters. And just the idea of being able to, you know, the task of having to, you know, come up with that many creatures. You're gonna come up with some good ones, but you're gonna come up with some just strange ones and things that don't make any dang sense. So, I always feel like, while it's easy to be able to mock stuff like the enemies you fight in RPGs and stuff, I just can't really ever bring myself to do it too often. I can make fun of a particular monster, sure, But I'm never gonna say, oh man, well that's a really badly designed monster, because I'm sure whoever was in charge did their freaking best. And I'd like to see you come up with like 200 individual monsters and have all of them be incredibly good ideas and incredibly memorable. And if nothing else, Persona monsters are incredibly memorable because you end up fighting them so dang much, you know? Anyway, give me the money. I will take all of your money and you will have no money, and it will be good for me, not for you, because you will have no money. See how you do bear witness to the fact that this is a win-win, but mostly for me it's a double win-win and a lose-lose for you. That makes it even better. I can barely sense a presence. I am gonna go ahead and assume that the end of Tartarus might be floor 250. That seems like a pretty safe bet. That's some kind of sword. A sensible man would check to see if that sword was any good. And I'm not sensible, but I guess I will check. So, yeah, that's actually considerably stronger. But I've made my peace, and I want to use the spear. It is simply my way of life. It is what I must stick to. I've flip-flopped over my options before, and I ain't doing that anymore. Oh, it's that close. It's on the 236th floor. Well, that certainly works out rather well for me, now don't it? Yep, you thought you could fight me. Well, the answer to that was yes, you could. Except you can't. You fool! You can't go that far? You're an idiot. An absolute buffoonigan. Alright, giant stone arm.
I'll scan the target.
Alright, I'll shake it with my stick and see what happens. Alright, if we're being real with ourselves, that worked really well. Ha! Nerd!
I can still fight.
Of course you can!
It's weak.
Alright, weak against ice. That's good to know for the future. But for the noucher,
We won't lose.
it doesn't really matter what I hit it with, because it's already going to be the deaded. Only when there are many, many enemies. Only then is it truly worth bothering with the all-out attack. Gotta do big-time damage to all enemies at once. You gotta micromanage. You gotta figure out the best time and place for all your particular moves. Not having any of that. No, sir. Nope, nope, nope. Knocking it out of the way. There's a treasure chest. Would have liked to grab it. Don't have a choice. Gonna run away. All right. Turns out that was not much of a choice. And this guy is just gonna constantly be in the way. Cool. All right, it's spooky, spooky hourglass man, and his hula hoop of doom.
Only one enemy left.
But I have a gun, so there you go.
Strike while the iron's hot.
See, that's kind of the thing. It's, you know, there's points for style and stuff, but unless you're able to deflect a bullet with a melee weapon, there's a reason why guns took over, where over combat. And swords fell out of favor. Sure, melee weapons are infinitely cooler in every regard, but you know, guns are more efficient, and that was a pretty good example of that. Like, cool, yeah, you've got a serrated, bladed hula hoop of doom. That's really cool, really creative. I like the idea. Problem is, you just got shot while trying to hit somebody with it. You know, that's the thing. Anyway, just gonna grab myself an extra bead because, lordy, this game is giving them out like they're some kind of candy. They might be, for all we know. I'm aware of where they are. Like, seriously, it was less than a moment ago when you told me. And there you go, boom, made it already. Avoiding fights because I can feel like it. Plus, it gives me a chance to actually continue forward, because if we do get exhausted, if I end up going back trying to heal everybody, they're just gonna leave, and that'd be a problem. One shadow in the middle, you say. Very well. Didn't actually mean to do that. Whoopsie. Let's say that I stabbed the ether as a sign of dominance, and not because I misclicked a button. Alright, let's shuffle our way back down. Now, the odds of us being successful are fairly decent, all things considered, but, you know, I've definitely taken one too many chances in the past, and I don't really feel much like doing that again, if I'm being honest with all of you. And since I said that I would, I'm gonna make myself a Seth. There's really no point, but I said what I said, and I aims to do's it. All right, so if I remember correctly, it was like the last two ones that I had. Yeah, it's the bottom three, and you get Seth of the Moon Arcana. Get nothing for it. Don't care. Making myself some Sith. Plus, it repels fire. Repellent fire is pretty good. And yes, actually, I very much would like to make it. Hence why I hit the buttons to make it happen. I am a dragon. I am Seth. I was born of these, and I shall walk by thy side. Or more sort of flippy flap, you know? I mean, you've got legs, so obviously the dragon could walk. I'm not saying that it can't, nor that it should ever dare to, you know, stop dreaming about the idea of walking. But, you know, generally most people are going to expect the dragon to fly. Unless you're one of them wingless dragons. I'm trying to remember. Man, I saw like this nifty diagram explaining every single type of dragon. And there was a name for the ones that don't have wings. Were those basilisks? But now I'm trying to remember, or was that or are basilisk snakes? See, that's the problem, man. Then again, you get like a serpent. They're all reptiles, it's a problem. Oh, great, it's a giant scale. You might even call it a scale model of a scale. You'd be wrong, but you know.
Its arcana is justice.
Yeah, I could have probably wagered that. It's literally a scale of justice. Not hard to figure out. All right, physical attacks seem to not do too much. What if I hit it with a heavy, magical attack, eh? Alright, not bad, not bad. Ah, that's always a good sign. Now, the question of the day is, how much damage is an all-out attack going to do against it? A hell of a lot. Alright, we've got Mabu Fudain. Alright, mildly problematic. Mildly. Let's see. The chances of it having an ability that make it able to, you know, it's probably able to do more than just ice, but if we consider that, then we could instead maybe go, if it's a scale, the chances of it having both ice and fire are pretty high, aren't they? Let's see, do I have anything, like, no, I guess not. Alright, well, let's hope that it doesn't have an electric attack. Let's see if that's the winning number, eh? In retrospect, probably should have had Yukari be the one to heal everybody, but I got 3 healers. No problem with that. Shoot them down. I don't do a whole lot of damage. This much is true. Oh, yep. Wow. So that was basically the worst possible thing. All right, firm mental note. Don't have a weakness to electricity. All right, well, so we're probably going to die. So let's just see if a giant fireball does anything for anybody. The answer was an unsurprising no. It's kind of hilarious. I have 3 healers. I'm probably fine. Unless they use, you know, something like that. All right, cool. I've been playing for 22 minutes and I've died twice. It's a new record, honestly. I should be proud. Alrighty then.
This shadow is a formidable foe. Its arcana is justice.
That it be. All right, so Throth is completely and totally immune to electric. That's good. That's good. You're weak to electric. That is bad. I was just wondering, yeah, do I have anybody who can both not take big time damage to something very obvious and also maybe do some healing too? Doesn't really look like that's a possibility. No, not really, no. All right then, I guess I'll just have to stick with what I've got and use a combination of items and stuff like that. All right. Now, how do you feel about getting hit with electricity anyway? Is rather neutral on the subject. All right, quite frankly, I'm more than okay with you constantly using fire attacks. That is okay by me. I can definitely deal with and heal from all of the fire moves, and no big worries on that front. I just gotta keep myself, you know, an eyes on my SPs and what have you, but I got enough items to fully replenish it too, so even if it becomes a war of attrition, I will eventually succeed. Of that much there is no doubt. Alright then. Oh, hey! And here I was thinking I wasn't gonna be lucky enough to be able to get another one of those in the second go of it. Seems like that might be the best course of action. Just heal when I have to heal, and yeah, just kind of hope for crits, really. All right, well that's mildly problematic, but yeah, I can still heal it off. Interesting. I suppose I'm just getting absurdly lucky, which I'm totally fine with. I'm okay with just getting lucky criticals a whole bunch of times. You will see no complaints from me. And heal them up. There you go, everybody. Everybody's feeling fine and funky fresh. So basically, we're just going to be doing a bunch of low damage numbers until we, you know, miraculously gets ourselves some critical hits, and it'll all work out in the end. Surely.
You won't escape. You must be eliminated.
Of course, it's probably going to take a little bit, but, it won't take long for you guys. Okay, dokie. I'm relatively certain that we're going to ultimately win this, but I'm kind of hoping that the enemy will show off exactly what it's been doing to me constantly over and over again. Okay, no, actually, that's a bit of a new one. Admittedly, the last time that it did something like that, it would use darkness, and it completely it killed Yukari and Aegis in one fell swoop. It was a really annoying situation, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. So then I used my revive beads to bring them back, and then they were all at half health because of the revival, right? You know, that makes sense. And so then he uses freaking Magiadon, the most powerful almighty skill that there even is available, and that ended up being a huge problem because then everybody died a second time, and then everybody was almost dead. If he had gone off one more attack, everybody would have for sure died completely. So I had to use my dang Soma, which is unfortunate. Now, okay, well, I guess... Yeah, that's less than ideal. All right, you know, it's weird. I started talking again in the hopes that maybe the game would show everybody just how much this was actually being kind of a huge pain in the butt. But then it actually got about 4 times a bigger pain in the butt than it was before, which is very annoying. And if you would... Yeah, I'd really prefer if that was that exact thing, that literal exact thing you just did. You didn't do that. I have a lot of healing items, but I don't have an unlimited supply, is basically ultimately what I'm trying to say here. So how about... Yeah, alright, how about we stop playing games? Except, you know, that's literally what I'm doing. But how about we just do as much damage as we possibly can? And I see that's a bit of an issue. Well, that was about 13 minutes wasted. Alright. I'd like to casually explain why that happened. You might have noticed that clip and thought to yourself, hey, did he die the exact same way that he did in the last fight? Well, you'd be correct. I did, and I'll tell you specifically why, because you might think, well, didn't he learn his lesson from last time not to have something weak to wind? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I actually did, but the problem was everyone was so ridiculously close to death that no matter what, the only choice I had... Cool, thanks for that game. The only choice I had was to switch over to a different persona than the one that I was using that entire fight that I was about to win with, because I had no choice, because I needed a healing spell, and every healing spell thing that I had was going to make me weak to something, and I just rolled the dice on the hopes that maybe, just maybe if I was lucky that they wouldn't decide to do that, and then he ended up doing that. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm aware that it wasn't a great call, but I had no other choice. He was either that or picking Titania, and he was just going to end up using his he's going to use fire skills or whatever it is she was weak to, and it was going to ruin everything. I'm aware. It's not great. I'm not proud. I'm not happy. Trying again. 4th time. Here we go. Sigh. That was phenomenally lucky. That is the exact type of combo move that this guy has been doing to me every single fight. But miraculously, that was the one time I happened to be using a persona that absorbed whatever element he was throwing at me, and now I'm back at full health. Oh my god, that was lucky. Oh my god. I don't even know what attempt I'm on at this point. My 5th? 6th? I honestly can't say that I know. Alright, but so far... And I'm knocking heavily on wood here. I don't know if you noticed about all that knocking I just did. That we might, maybe, possibly, if we're lucky, might, just possibly, be okay. We might, maybe. I don't know. We're about to find out, I suppose. I'm just going to keep on doing what I can. Keep on hitting him with the big attacks. Keep hoping he decides to not attack me with anything. Like that, mostly. Okay. And with this, Loki levels up once. I get null fire. We toss out the pile of crap that is stagnant air. And I no longer have any weaknesses. This should tip the balance in my favor at long last. Let's find out. And it already paid off. That was his first turn. Didn't do a damn thing. Okay, here we go. It's gonna work this time, I swear. I know I'm jinxing myself by daring to speak before the fight is over, but it really does seem like I only need to hit him one more time before he dies. And given the circumstances, it seems unlikely that he's going to miraculously... Alright, needs another one. He shouldn't miraculously come out of absolutely nowhere and be able to defeat me at this point. The only reason he was ever able to get as far as he did was because he kept defeating the main guy, because that causes game overs. I think, at long last, after an hour and 20 minutes... After an hour and 20 minutes...
Providing backup.
Surely, this is the end. Thank you!
I can sense your determination.
You know what, Fuka? That was actually the best possible thing you could have said to me at that moment. Thank you, actually. Thank you. Sincerely. I feel like most people probably wouldn't have called what I just did determination, probably stupidity, reckless abandon, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But you know what? She called it determination. And that meant a lot to me right now. I have absolutely no earthly clue how much of anything that I don't know how much video there even is out of this so far. I want to say maybe like less than half an hour at this point. My God. Okay, well, be that as it may, I have remerged triumphant, and that is ultimately all that matters in the end. So, obviously, first things first, go down, get healed, save. Always save after you go through something that's taken you more than 6 attempts. Obviously. Just to be on the safe side. Yes, sirree. Gonna save that. Never gonna fight that stupid monster ever again. No, sirree. Now, I'm aware. Yes, I could have potentially just brought someone else, you know, and they wouldn't have been weak to electricity, but the fact of the matter is that dude had multi-hitting moves for literally everything. So, didn't really matter who I brought with me, they were going to be able to exploit a bunch of weaknesses no matter what. So, it might have done a little bit better because it would have only knocked over one of my healers, but then it's not like if I had brought Ken, I guess Ken and Yakihiko can both heal to an extent. Whatever, doesn't matter. The end result is I don't really care. I wanted to do that the way I wanted to do that, and I did it the way I wanted. So that's the beginning, middle, and end of it all right? I wanted to use my team, and I did, and I succeeded. All I had to do was get a little bit of extra experience, get Loki back up there, make it so I had no obvious exploitable weaknesses, and it all worked out fairly well. Still, it almost went terribly wrong when I started talking. Luckily, I was paying enough attention to be able to fix that, but I digress. Alright, you go ahead and do that. I'm gonna do heavy almighty damage because I freaking can and I feel like it. Alright, so that didn't do a whole lot, and it also took Yukari a little bit to load her body back in after the move, which is somewhat funny to me.
There are 3 enemies left.
Yep.
I need your help.
She needs your help.
It has multiple weaknesses.
Fire! That's a really good weakness for it to have. I approve! And it actually did me the solid of not letting it miss. Appreciated. That should be all they wrote. Alright, good. Alright, good. Now, honestly, thinking I'm probably gonna go with the rank 10 Healy thingy on there just to cap us all off after what we just did. There we go. Yeah, I know, I spent a lot of SPs on a move that ultimately didn't amount to much. It's fine, it's fine. I just need to not do that again, and we shouldn't be in any trouble. The real sad and bad news is the fact that that was ultimately a complete total waste of my time. It was a dead end. It was a false lead. It was pointless. It was terrible. It ended poorly for everyone, mostly me. And in this particular instance, everyone is me. Although that would be a terrible fate.
My apologies. I cannot avoid this fight.
Eugen! I don't know how you couldn't avoid it. You've got crazy little robot-y legs that you could have used to run away from all this nonsense.
You should run.
Yep, alright, so... I feel like we definitely already found the weakness to this creature, but for the life of me, I can't really remember. Even if I remembered a fair little bit ago, I, kinda still on a little bit of a frazzlement from, you know, everything I just went through. If I had to wager a guess, yeah, that's kind of what I figured it would be electric. Alright then, don't I actually have something in my pants right now that would electrocute them? No, I have something that's wind. Never mind, we're gonna have to endure getting slapped around a little bit. That's unfortunate for everybody. Yeah, but now when I hit them with the electric attack, that one is gonna get back up. This is far from a flawless system, I must say. Alright, well, still, very fulfilling, if nothing else. It also prevented a bunch of characters from, you know, actually being able to attack me back, so... guess I can't really complain too much. Hit them with the fireballs! Burn through our resources, see if I give a dang. I don't. And hit him with the wind! The big wind cannon! Wajow! Alright, that's the majority of them dead. Then we just shoot that one in the head. If it even technically has a head, it's literally just kind of a... it's just a big pile of goo with an approximation of sort of a face-ish. Alright. I kind of wanted to see what one of the 10s would give me. A Damascus rapier. Well, that would be super fantabulous if I used that, but I don't, so it's worthless. Thank you for that. Alright then, if you would be so kind as to heal us up a little bit, that would be great. Thank you, thank you. You're a very kind, very nice gal. This is why you are the superior, the best girl of Persona 3. I have to be incredibly clear, lest people get the incorrect assessment. Also, I just ran into a big circle, and I did, in fact, not find my way out. What is the deal with that? Have I not, in fact, gone every single way that there is to possibly go? I feel as if that I most certainly have, but surely that can't be the case, because I'm not currently leaving. And if I'm still here, then that must simply mean that I have not found the way out. This is deductive reasoning. It's called science. It's called logic. It makes sense. Everybody knows this. Doesn't mean it's not incredibly annoying, though, if we're being honest with ourselves. Alright, we just go around. As one of our dudes is really, really far behind for some reason. Is it Koromaru again? No, it's Yukari. Then I shall forgive her because she is Yukari, and she is great. Okay, so... what the hell is going on here? Alright then. Don't like doing this, but... all y'all's just go. Figure out whatever it is that I didn't figure out. One of them is going to end up finding the way out of here, surely. So I shall wait. You found the stairs. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. Don't know where they are. Don't really care much either. Found them. We're good. Surprisingly, despite it all, we are still not tired. So we're going to keep on keeping on. If I'm being honest, I feel like I'm actually kind of a bit of an idiot to actually even be bothering with this whole, you know, going on to the next boss, seeing as how the one I just went up against gave me so much trouble. But if it has less elemental variety, then I should be able to do it. Anyway, She's impressed that I made it as far as I have. The next Guardian's on the 244th floor. Don't worry, you'll be fine. We're a team. Let's win this one too. We are so close to already fulfilling the almighty power of the Judgment Arcana. I think that is 7. I didn't pay attention to the last one. Yeah, it's 7. Okay, good. Good. Then that means another one after we kick the next guy's ass. And then I guess another one when we get to the top. And probably the last one when we, like, maybe actually confront Nyx or beat Nyx or... Beat Nyx? No. But, you know, with the bongos. But, you know, either way. It all adds up and makes sense to me. We're almost to the 244th floor. Yep, and now I'm almost on the... I'm even closer. All right. The 2 extraordinarily close by staircases more than made up for the fact that I got lost on that other one. To an extent, I still feel rather dim for having not been able to find it easily, but I digress. That's some beetles.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
All right, you do that. I'm gonna hope for the best on all of my magical abilities. Aight, so that's so far not so great. Okay, but how about I did this instead? Would this be the winning number? No, it would not.
It's weak against strike attacks.
Strike attacks.
There are 4 enemies left.
I believe I do not have strike attacks. Oh, but I do, as a matter of fact, have strike attacks.
The enemy is still alive.
Alrighty. That's fine by me. Thank you very much.
I'll scan the target.
Worst case scenario, it prevents them from getting back up. And that thing is weak to fire! Well, that's just incredibly serendipitous for me now, isn't it? We miraculously managed to make it all work out in the end. All thanks to a lucky critical from Igus. She is a very, very wonderful robo-girl. A robo-girl. Alright, I would like to see what a rank 10 coin card does. A decent amount of money.
Yes, my skill level has increased.
Always good. We've got these things now. We are not in a great position. We do not have advantage. They are going to be able to hit us before we can finish up an entire one of these. Oh, all right, well, that's lucky. Alrighty then. We will one at a time hit them with our special powers. We know electricity is what the dice don't like.
Enemies left.
But, oh, hey, deal heavy wind damage to all foes. Nice. We actually have that now. All right, so, I don't suppose this gigantic stone creature is weak to the winds, are they? No, they reflect it. What good?
Weak against ice.
That's fair. They generally seem to end up being weak to ice more often than they don't. That stands to reason. All right, so that obviously will not work. That's mildly annoying. All right, then we'll do this. Yeah.
Must be eliminated.
And the dice makes it get back up. Bit of a problem. Use the Tempest Slash. Alright, so that's awful, and I don't much like it, but I also don't have a really great option for being able to heal her right now, so we're just going to have to take it and move on. Sorry, Igus.
The enemy is
Hopefully you can forgive me at a later point. Alright, now we switch over to Loki. We bust out the big honkin' ice cubes, and we should be okay. Assuming all-out attack is able to finish them off. I would hope. I'm doing big-time damage to the golems, so if nothing else, they should get knocked out. The dice might stick around. That'd be terrible.
The enemy is down. Now's your chance.
Alright, here we go. We either win, or we don't, and we'll have to win in another turn. That's no great. But alright, here we go. Let's just bring Igus back, because that's the right thing to do. And just quickly checking.
Weak against ice. Use Bufu skills.
Yeah. So see, that's a problem. Yeah, I'm aware this will do nothing. Ah, that reflected. I thought that would just be null. It was not null. It was far from null, people. All right then, fine. Ice cube time. Let's go. Okay.
You're determined.
Yes. I am very determined. If there is anything in this life that I am, it, as it turns out, happens to be that. I have absolutely no idea. All right, cool. Works for me. Big pile of experience. Always take the pile of experience. And maybe someone level up too? 2 level ups, though.
Aptitude has increased.
All right, you love to see it. You love to see it. And I'm really not trying to stab Yukari right now. I know it really looked like I was, but that was never at any point my objective. Not for a fraction of a moment was that something I was attempting to do. But the game seemed very adamant that that is exactly what I was up about. All right, next floor, next floor, next floor. But first, give me whatever's in there. A discharm, that's worthless to me. I already have about 1 million of those, but all right, fine, I'll take it. Damn it! Double damn it! Cool, this is gonna suck. Yeah, thanks for that. All right, you got snake eyes. Does that mean it doesn't hurt that much? A little bit worse. Ow. Alrighty, now that I have been beaten to near death, not full death, mind you, just simply near death. I hit him with the big shock cannon. Please don't miss. Thank you for that much, universe. But will it be enough to actually win, or the answer was apparently no? Not exactly what I was hoping to see, hear, taste, or smell, if I'm being honest. Alright. Also, apparently that button lets me see everybody's, the turn order and health of everybody. That's actually kind of interesting. Good to know. That being said, did I? No, I did not. Alright, this is either going to finish up the job or... Oh, hey, heavy fire damage to everybody now. Alright. This is either going to finish the job or everyone's going to get healed. Alright, I mean, could have been worse. Like I said, they could have absorbed the fire. Alright, alright, alright. But what if we used Heat Wave and we just straight up killed them? Just ended their lives. There we go. Okay.
I've decided I want to live.
And I appreciate that fact. And we are going to continue to help you strive for that very same goal. Alright, so... we're very, very low on just about everything at this point, and that's unfortunate, but that's okay at the same time, because once we find the staircase and get ourselves out of here, we can heal ourselves up and take a crack at the boss. And don't mind me, I'm just grabbing this and I'm running away, because I don't want to beat it, I didn't want to fight! I did not want this. Do not want. Do not want. Frustration! Thank you for that. Alrighty then. Now, which one of you dudes is the one with the big pile of fire? Yeah. I actually don't have Seth anymore because I kept jumping back into the fight without actually, fusing the personas necessary to obtain it. I didn't really feel like it was much of a loss. I really only had him for the sake of having a really cool dragon, but, I can get that back whenever I want. Right now, I'm much more focused on the whole defeating thine enemies and what have you, That's really my objective. Let's grab another one of those rank 10 cards and see if it gives me a weapon I can actually use. I know not what a Volge is. That really does not help me much, I must say. Alright, well, first things first, because I've got a bunch of them anyway. There we go. Just take care of that. And then, what is a Volge? A Volge is a... Hey, it's a spear! A better spear than the one I've got. Thank you very much. Now I got a new pointy stick. Everybody everywhere like the pointy stick. Alright. That's a dead end. But this isn't a dead end. I mean, it could potentially be a bunch of dead ends. But the odds are not that high for such a thing because it's not. Haha, there we go. Everything I was hoping for and a little bit more, except not really. 3 enemies in the middle. Yes, that seems about right. I actually don't even know which one I prefer. A single super duper ultra strong enemy or 3 relatively strong enemies. I think I prefer the relatively strong 3 enemies because as long as I can take out 1 or 2 of them, mostly at least just 1, then I can make it work. I can work around it. But when it's 1 single strong enemy, there's not really much of a load-bearing wall for me to attack at any point. I just kind of have to keep hacking at it until it eventually falls over. Mightily frustrating, it's what it is. Alright. Everybody wish me luck on this next one. It just needs to be mildly less versatile with its abilities. I'll gladly accept it having the ability to use every element, as long as it's not dealing with freaking light and dark. I am so tired of light and dark. Every time an enemy uses it, it always works 100% of the time, and it's really frustrating, because whenever I do it, oh no, that doesn't work. And of course, boss enemies, like the such that we go up against, are obviously just completely and totally immune right from the get-go. I feel like we should count as boss characters and therefore be immune. I mean, Koromaru is, but he doesn't count. Everybody else isn't. Everybody should be. Oh, great, it's these dudes. Alrighty, let's see what happens. We've got Spinneroonie McDoonies.
No ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
Yeah, I never really had any intention of doing so. Alright, properly girded, feeling fine, feeling dandy. And I could also just straight up do this because I wanna, so... Alright, we're dealing with Vaporal Blade. And we're dealing with a bunch of characters doing that all at once, as a matter of fact. That is not what you like to see. And that did nothing, and now we're going to die.
Oh no, Yukari-chan.
Alright, miraculously, we did not die, although I feel like we really probably should have almost. So...
We need you. Please.
So that's the way it's gonna be, huh, game? Whatever happens next, it's on you, game. That thing blew itself up, and miraculously, somehow, it didn't kill everybody in one go. I kind of just sort of sunk my head down in defeat, assuming everything was going to go horribly wrong for me there, but somehow it didn't. Alrighty then. Let me just do that real quick to make up for this thing that's about to happen. Yeah, kind of figured. And then, I guess, just kind of hope that I revive people in the right order to be able to actually fix this problem. Alright. If it could just...
Koro-chan's hurt. Please help him.
Yeah, this isn't ideal. Alright, well, kind of would have rather not used this until everybody was alive, but, well, it keeps everybody else that is alive, so we'll take it. Yep. No one's happy about it. There we go. All right, well, that was a brief moment in time for me. Hopefully you all enjoyed that awfulness that happened. Here's hoping that I can maybe squeak this through. It's not impossible. For the record, I equipped a persona that was strong against slicing moves. Seemed to make a difference, but I'm not 100% confident on my ability to actually defeat this particular crop of enemies. We're about to find out. Actually, okay. You know what? I'm feeling relatively-ish confident-ish about this. I was actually planning on going on a massive, training spree. I was going to try to over-level myself to, Kingdom Come and everything, because I was getting really fed up with getting beat up a whole bunch, but I decided to give it one more try before I resorted to that, and
Made up my mind. I won't lose.
miraculously, it just kind of worked out, I guess. Fine by me. And nobody is tired, so we'll just keep on going. Unbelievable! We're almost done. Just one more to go. Okay, so despite the fact that it did in fact kill me that one time, I'm gonna call this one infinitely better than the one that we just got involved with by like a very wide margin. That was nowhere near as absolutely abysmally awful as that freaking scale was. And I got one of the somas I've been using back. Alright, just firm mental note when I get out of this place. For the love of all that is good and holy, grab myself as many of those revival beads from the pharmacy as I possibly can. because I have been burning through them at a rate that is, quite frankly, should be criminal. I've also had to use a couple of my somas. I still have a whole bunch of them, mind you, so I'm not too worried, but at the same time, I'm not happy about the fact that I've had to use so many of them. But I suppose at the end of the day, a victory is a victory, no matter how you look at it. I just want to be able to get to the top. Is that really asking for so much? I feel like it really isn't. Perhaps it was asking a bit much to be able to do that, you know, getting through all of the trials in a single day. Maybe the game wasn't anticipating anybody was ever going to actually do that. But obviously it is very much doable. If I of all people can do it, then it must be doable. Something different about the enemies around here, which means they're probably angry and stronger and full of mustard and God only knows what else. Alright, well, don't get advantage, but I didn't get disadvantage. And it's a bunch of these dudes. Are you the guy with the fire? You are the guy with the fire. All right. Luckily for me, I know for a fact that that is something that they are perhaps weak to. So,
That's it. The enemy is down.
that, quite frankly, almost seemed overkill. It almost killed them outright, right out the gate. Now, if I'm being honest, part of me kind of wishes that that were the case. It would have felt really good after everything I've been through up to this point, but take what you can get. And that is the fabled 10 EXP card. I'll gladly yoink that. Thank you very much. Alright, well, yeah, you go ahead and get stronger if you want. I don't ever use you for anything other than light magic, so your level literally means nothing, because your stats mean nothing, because light is either works or it doesn't. Stats affect nothing for you. So I know not why you constantly bother with that. Anyway, the enemy, it approacheth thee. Well, it doesn't approach, but it dwells within E, up in E, and such things. As I stab the air angrily, because I accidentally hit the damn button. Alright, can I maybe... Hey! There we go. Now I just need to actually kill it, so it's gonna run away instantly.
There's only one.
Alright, so... Alright, so if we could just... Alright, so if we could just...
One enemy left.
Thank you!
I can't lose here.
What kind of thing did I get? A nail sphere. A spear, you say? A spear. I said a sphere, but it's not a sphere. It's a spear, which is much better. Do I look like a freaking blitzball player up in air? I'm not. I ain't gonna weaponize no beach ball. It's a sphere. A load of bupkis is what that all nonsense is.
Strong enemies.
All right. Get over here to Tinias. I spin the wheel unnecessarily amounts. Give everybody the big chill, the big freeze, the big freezy squeeze.
The enemy's off balance. Attack.
I'm almost certain that this isn't going to be enough to actually finish them off. Yep, didn't think that was gonna work, but I dared to dream, and it did not pay off one bit. No siree, babo.
3 enemies left.
All right, what are you immune to?
The enemy's weak against ice.
Basically, pretty much absolutely everything. That's cool. All right then, I guess I'll heal people up. Guess.
No, it can't end like this.
Yep, that definitely seems exactly like the type of thing that would happen to me at this exact moment in time. Yeah, this is the episode of never-ending failure and despair. And yeah, I know that I just used that word, but it's what I'm feeling. Ugh. Alrighty, I have returned. I've gotten a little bit stronger. Not a whole lot. I just kind of climbed up back to where I was, managed to find some Igus armor.
Level of aptitude has
Got myself a
increased.
couple of level ups in the process. Got myself another bead, because they are constantly tossing those around like they are not even worth anything to anybody. I find that a little weird, personally. You go ahead and just keep on searching all of your various, I don't know, codes. I know it's not code, but I don't know how your power works. So, you know, you just keep checking and sensing and feeling around, figuring out where all these things are. As I get sucker punched in the back of the head as the poison mist descends upon me.
Hang in there.
Oh, lordy, 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 lordy. Alright, so good news, bad news. Good news is... Oh, wait, no. Never mind. The good news is the good news.
Left.
I can do something about this. Hang on. Yep. I know. Just double, triple checking. I was gonna say the good news, bad news was I knew for a fact that I was able to activate their weaknesses once before. The bad news was I did not remember what it was and I didn't think I'd analyzed them, but I did. We can make it work. No problemo.
I can't lose here.
Alright, well. You'll have to forgive me, I'm more than slightly exasperated about everything that's been happening. This has been a very harrowing recording session for me, and I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. Alright, well, I mean, at least everybody's leveling up and stuff, so I can't really complain. And ultimately, despite all of the horrible stuff that's been going on, I've been ultimately emerging triumphant in the end, so that's good. That's very good. That's very good. I'm not super happy or, you know, crazily enthusiastic, but alright, hey, if you're gonna give me some free stairwells, I will gladly accept all of them. Thank you very much. Found it! 252nd floor! I thought it was only gonna go to 250! And a sword I'm never gonna use. This is just the way that the world is these days, apparently. Alright, if you guys could not get yourself into a scuffle, it'd be pretty great. Alright. I dared to dream of a world where that exact thing didn't happen. And I believe it is very clear to see to all, that that was stupid and pointless of me. I was an absolute idiot for thinking such a thing would ever happen. Alright then. Indeed. Alright, fine. Fine. Sorry, I'm having a hard time coming up with the yucks and the funny observations and the words and the stuff and all that good jargon. Alright, for a fraction of a moment I thought I had one of the personas on my guy that would have made him weak to fire, and I had a miniature heart attack. Alright, so I would have much preferred if you didn't do that. Like, did you absolutely have to dodge that attack? Was that something you had to do on a personal level? I feel like it wasn't. I honestly feel like you did something entirely unnecessary. I don't appreciate it. Do not appreciate it at all. I don't know what it is about these giant severed heads. Maybe it's the fact that they're giant severed heads, but they make me uncomfortable. They really do. Alright, well, not a lot of good cards, but I can grab this at least. Heal myself up a little bit. That'd be nice, so don't have to think too hard about that. Take what you can get, I suppose. And on top of everything else, I get interrupted by various things beyond my control. This is just the life that I've ended up living, it seems. My goodness. Alright, yep, there's a super duper ultra powerful enemy on the 52nd floor. Boy howdy, it sure would suck if you had to go up there and fight him and get your ass kicked. Oh. I feel rather confident about the idea that when I get there, it's not really gonna end well for me, honestly. With each progressing enemy, it's just kind of getting harder and harder and harder for me. I have a feeling don't push yourself too hard, but, yeah, the characters aren't exhausted yet, so I have no options. I have to just keep on keeping on. And I got myself some holy shoes. Hopefully that doesn't mean they're shoes full of holes. Ha 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 ha! I still got the fun yucks for you.
There's one enemy, and it's powerful.
Alrighty. I don't mind fighting. Okay. I mean, that really isn't nearly as big of a deterrent as you think. I think you think it was, Random Shadow Man.
Not who I used to be.
I feel like you were under the impression that inflicting us with rage was going to benefit you far more than it ended up doing. I applaud your ingenuity and your desire to make this sort of nonsense work, but I digress. I digress. It did not work out the way that you wanted. And now there's another one, apparently.
But we can attack first.
Alright then, fine.
Must be eliminated.
I already learned that that thing could absorb that particular type of attack, so I'm not sure why I did it. I think I've reached... Why did he attack so... Koromaru, why...
Unexpected turn of events.
Okay. No! Okay. Alright.
I'll be cheering you on from here.
Alright.
No shadows detected.
Alright, so what have we learned from that entire debacle? I am clearly much too frazzled right now to even be trying to do any of the things that I'm doing.
Yes, my skill level has increased.
My goodness. I made every wrong call that a man could ever possibly make in that given situation. I don't know how I managed to pull that off as badly as I did, but somehow I made it work. That is so confusing. Alright. No problems. I just need to beat one more of them. Just one more of them, and if I do that, if I can defeat this last dude, then I'll be able to leave. Because then I'll know I've defeated all of the various trials that I was meant to, you know, go up against and everything, and it'll all work out. It'll be fine. He says, not knowing if it'll be fine. Alright then, well, I know that fireballs work, so fireballs it shall be.
That's it. The enemy is down.
Really feel like that should just be taking them out instantaneously, but alright. I suppose any fight I can walk away from not horribly maimed is, you know, it's an adequate one. It's an acceptable one. We take those. We accept them. Thank you. Grab any experience points you're willing to
My level
toss my way. Like errant, like wayward table scraps, I shall accept whatever I am given, and I shall be happy to receive it. But deep down inside, know that I slightly resent how things have transpired this day. And the toll it has taken on my sanity shall, in fact, affect me for the rest of my long, tired existence. Oh, you shall know that it was you that did this to me. Persona 3. Because you are a cruel game. And by far and away the most depressing Persona game that I have played up to this point. Which makes me actually wonder, are Personas 1 and 2 this level of, oh my god, or not? Like, that's what I want to know. A strong enemy in the middle, huh? Okay, I'll go save, and then I'll be back. And we're gonna take one crack at this. I only have it in me for one crack of this. If it doesn't work, then I'm taking a break, and I'll be back. Okay. I did some deep breathing. I got out of my chair and walked around a little bit. We're gonna give this the old college try. If it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna do some training. Simple as that. Simple as that. The fact that it's a rocking horse monster, not too happy about that.
man. That's this Guardian's Arcana.
Yeah, alright, sure. At the very least, I wouldn't have automatically assumed that. It's just the fact that every time I've ever gone up against a rocking horse enemy like this, it always ended up completely obliterating me, or coming very close to obliterating me and me having to run away. So the fact that I'm being forced into a battle here like this...
I couldn't defeat it.
Okay, cool. It absorbs slices, so let's just not use slices. Instead, we will shoot him with a very painful bullet, knock him... I was gonna say knock him on his butt, but I really don't feel like that's the correct terminology for what we just did to this fellow. Alright then, so everybody else is able to do their thing. Of course, I don't like the fact that he used stagnant air. That means he's got status ailments. Okay, he absorbs wind. Of course he does. Of course he does. Do you also absorb fire, making Koromaru entirely worthless in this fight? You do! Koromaru is quite literally entirely useless. That is
Defense weakened.
really not what we really wanted to see right now, if I'm being honest. And that doesn't help either. It really doesn't. Alright, so I guess Koromaru can do literally absolutely nothing. Alright, Koromaru, you'll be on using item and, I guess, hit evasion rate up duty.
Yes, Koro-chan, the enemy's off balance.
I feel as if I deserve to get... Oh, I would have. I would have gotten a free all-out attack out of that if the universe wasn't nearly as cruel as it was.
This thing won't give up.
All right, just be a good doggo and sit there.
Yukari-chan.
Cool. I'm really happy about how that transpired. All right,
Providing backup.
it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Just some really bad luck. Just some really bad luck. No big deal. We'll just keep on fighting the way that we do, and it'll all work out. As Koromaru just keeps sitting there doing nothing. And of course you've got Megilodon. I don't know what I was anticipating you having anything other than that.
Please be careful.
I truly, honestly did not know what I was expecting, but it should have been that. It really should have. Alright. Just get everybody healed up. If we could land another critical hit or 7, I mean, that'd be pretty swell. That's all I'm really going to say on the subject.
Hang in there.
Alright. This is a perilous game I'm playing, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Enemy is still alive.
I suppose no matter what I do, I'm either going to die or I'm going to win, and it's going to take a little bit. So I suppose I should just err on the side of caution and give that a little snap.
Nice. The enemy's let us strike while the iron's hot. I can't miss. Firing.
Okay, wow. Alright, so at the very bare minimum, I have to show you the fact that that all just happened. That is 2 all-out attacks in a row. Pure dumb luck straight out the gate. Thank you very much. I appreciate. 1, 2, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Your fat ass for falling over. That's what. Hell yeah. Thank you. Alright, so I suppose we could just actually chill here for now. Yep, every now and then it does be busting out some of that little old nonsense, and I sure wish it wouldn't, but,
You won't escape.
even though it does, it's not the biggest problem in the world.
Please help him.
Yes, I know Koromaru isn't looking too great, and that's a part of a problem. I'm not happy about it. Nobody here is happy that Koromaru is not feeling so great. But the fact remains, ultimately, it's not that big of a problem. As long as everybody else is able to stick it out, we can always bring him back and it won't be a problem. Really?
Attack weakened. Please be careful.
Bringing down my attack stat, are you?
Be eliminated.
I'm going to choose to believe that that doesn't matter!
This thing won't give up.
Alright, well. I bet it all on black, and it paid off because the idiot wasted his turn. He could have done something else with that, and then he chose not to because he's a big flabby dumbass. And that's all she wrote. That was my first go of it. Alright, awesome. That was 1.5 million times easier than both of those enemies beforehand. My God. My God. All traces of the Guardian have vanished. We did it. That was the last one. We're almost to the top. It was such a long way, but now we're almost there. Together, we can see this through to the end. All right. So, that was about 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of recording. I think I can slim that whole thing down into literally maybe a single video's worth. Maybe 2. I don't know. Guess we'll see. I'll see when I'm actually editing this. Oh, so long from now. Ugh. But the good news is we managed to beat all of the Guardians, unless Fuka was lying. Do you think she was lying? Do you think the game would do that? Just walk right up to my face and lie like that? Every fiber of my being would like to take a break right now, but... All right. We'll stick it out. We'll stay with it for just a tiny itty bitty little microscopic bit further, and we'll see what we can do about this whole top of the tower thing. All right? Let's just generally, when it comes to the barricades, they're only like 3 to 4 floors above wherever the boss you last fought was. It's never that far. So, then it shouldn't be too difficult. We'll just go a little bit further. Avoid any of the enemies that try to mess up my business. There are fewer enemies in the area, or there's something... either that or there's something different about the enemies in the area. I'll be honest, I just kind of glanced over that. Didn't really read it out that much. That's on me. Terribly sorry, Fuka. I am full of the frazzles, the dazzles, and everything in between. Aha! The 254th floor now. I sense an area with no outer wall. That's probably what Ryoji-kun was talking about. The way to the promised place. That's where we're supposed to go on January 31st. We've made it this far. I have faith in you. Considering how strong you are, I know you can succeed. Let's win this battle! If I'm being entirely honest with you, I feel like maybe that should have been attached to like a actual story cutscene and not just Fuka giving me a pep talk, but alright. Honestly, I feel like that was more of a social bond with Fuka than anybody else. But, alright then. I now have the power of judgment. I can now create Messiah. Interesting. I'll see if I can maybe make that work. Alright then, so, with all of that said and done, I got through all of the last bits of Tartarus. The only thing that's left is the top floor, which is something that we're gonna do, well, probably not next time, but like next time. You know what I mean. Like, we still have to get through 30 days of in-game content before we can actually, you know, go to fight Nyx and what have you, so I honestly don't know what I'm going to do for those 30 days in-game, if I'm being perfectly honest, but, I suppose we'll figure it out. Surely. Thank you for being with me on this absurdly wild ride through the depths of insanity that I ultimately came out from the top prevailing. And I can feel pretty good about that. I'll see you all next time.